Hello, here is the last cosmonaut with round or part 5 of the second mission of the Morning Sun campaign in the game Order of Battle World War II. Now, in the turn between the two episodes, our opponent has, on the one hand, renewed his cavalry offensive in the north. This will not cause us any concern. On the other hand, his fighter plane has attacked ours and dealt quite a bit of damage, actually. We are outclassed against him, and I don't. Fortunately, we have another fighter plane here, which we will bring to the forefront. So that with these forces combined, we may take him out. And even then, it's not a party here. Oh, look at that! That was devastating. We may lose that fighter plane in the next round. Now, I doubt that this part is going to be awfully exciting, since it will consist mostly of just moving our troops forward to meet the enemy. And possibly defend the railway from Chinese counterattacks. Nothing that is particularly exciting. To remind you, we need to take that town, and then we will have won the game. Now, we still have 15 turns left. I don't think we will need as many as that. I think there's a fair chance that we will make it in 10 turns. Now, to actually play. Let's maybe see what units we can still deploy. Well, for one, I would like to get another reconnaissance unit into the air. And I would like to purchase another fighter, actually. There we go. Just to ensure that we keep the upper hand against their fighter. We won't be using any tactical bombers in this round, or any strategic ones for that matter, but simply rely on our artillery and our heavy infantry mortar attacks to provide support. So this is going to be a bit of a poking into the dark, but let's risk it, especially since it's not one of our core units, but just one of the scenario units. And we didn't encounter any resistance. Wonderful. Let's check the... Okay, so our units are a bit, I wouldn't say immobile, but not particularly mobile in any case. That's a heavy, yes, that's a heavy infantry unit, which we will be moving to deploy on the southern front. I think that what we're going to do is that we're going to use the light tank here, as well as the heavy tank there, to effectuate a crossing over here. Since the area here is mostly flat terrain, whereas the area here is a mixture of forests and rice fields, both of which severely limit the maneuverability of our armored contingent. So okay, we moved all of those. So let's move the the light tank forward a bit. We're going to keep that infantry unit there to ward off the counterattacks. Yeah, let's move that artillery unit there. And we're going to keep this artillery unit over here, since first of all it is not motorized, which means that it would spend ages just to get anywhere near the front line here in the south. But it can provide fire support for that, for our garrison unit, if you so want. Now, over here, we're going to... Yeah, let's move that heavy infantry there. Move the infantry unit there to guard it. There we have an artillery unit that is motorized. Thank God. Well, I doubt there are any enemies here, so we can just move it over there. And the heavy tank, which we will upgrade forthwith. As well as this infantry unit, actually. And we can upgrade our light tank. I would like to keep our core units. Remember, those are that is those units that have this yellow border around them, as opposed to this unit, for example, at full health. And in the north, we're just going to, for the sake of wanton bloodshed, attack a hopefully outclassed enemy. And truth be told, I think I'll rest easier once these cavalry units have been destroyed. Pardon me. And we can, if the necessity, so that we can, if the necessity arises, redeploy some of the units here, especially that light tank, for example, down to the south. And let's end our round. That was a close shave. We could just as well have lost that fighter plane, that fighter unit. That was predictable. Okay, so they are, at the very least, moving here into this area. Let's move the artillery unit there. And keep the infantry in the town. As soon as we can, we will move the artillery unit either into the town or into this town here. Okay, so I'm pretty sure there is going to be an enemy entrenched there. Let's just spring that trap, so to speak. Yes, there is. Move our reconnaissance unit into this area to get a better look of what's waiting for us there. And forward infantry. Our units are so slow when they aren't motorized. Speaking of, I can imagine that we will use these two infantry units to attempt a river crossing here, so that we can take that area from both sides. So, armor here, infantry here. Oh, there we have our fighter. Let's move him there. Shit, we can't land them while there's a unit on the... but fortunately we can move our artillery, that's good. And ground our plane, wonderful. So, let's attack that fighter. Oh, I think we have a good chance of destroying that unit now. No, we didn't. That's unfortunate. Okay, we're going to make contact with the enemy there, just so that we can get our artillery a bit closer to their positions. Tank forward. We're not going to attack them with this infantry unit. Instead, we're going to conduct Mörser. In German, it's called Mörser. We're going to conduct mortar attacks. Now, over here, we've moved everybody. Well, except him, of course. Okay, let's end the turn. Yeah, of course, he's trying to run away. They don't let up here on the northern front. Let's get them there. We're just going to be proactive and eliminate them, honestly, because I find them annoying. And we're going to begin with the envelopment of the units entrenched there. Now, yeah, let's Let's start the river crossing. I think we're going to move that unit there then. That way that unit, once here, will be able to have the support of that unit. Now what about our planes? Yeah, within range. That one isn't. Oh well, we're just going to ground him. As well as conduct repairs on the other aerial unit. We still haven't destroyed him. Oh, it's tedious. That's heavy infantry, we're going to move it there. Heavy tank there, reinforce it. I think we're also going to use the cavalry. We're also going to use the cavalry to cross here. With the artillery. Use that artillery unit to weaken that militia unit here. And then just chase him away with the infantry division. There we go. Now, over here. We're going to move the heavy infantry there without engaging the enemy in a direct attack. Let's just keep it up with the mortar attacks. For the sake of moving the tank there. And now an artillery attack. Ah, damage them, in fact. Well, now that we have these odds, 2+ versus 1+, I think we can risk an attack with that infantry division on them. Since we're not going to gain any ground here without grinding, as it were, the enemy to a pulp. Now let's check out what they have here. Well, we already know there's one infantry unit there. There's bound to be another one there. Not here. Oh. No. 1 versus 1+. I don't like those odds. We're not going to conduct that attack. Let's end our turn. Tanks can't attack in mountain areas, so it would make no sense to move that infantry unit away and replace it with a tank instead. So we're going to move that unit here, reinforce it, bring the tank forward, use that the artillery to clobber on that unit. There we go. Use the heavy tank to attack them. Now we can we use the infantry here? No. Oh, yeah, let's not attack them for now. Let's just attack the unit here, since that will clear the path, so to speak. By which I mean this this shallow area between the two mountain ranges here. Now, on this side, I would... well, he's already grounded, so... but we can keep that fighter in the air a bit. Maybe even move him here. We have a few rounds so that we can keep him in the air. Speaking of fighters, we're going to reinforce these. Now, that militia unit is really getting on my nerves, but this should destroy it. And it did. Wonderful. Let's move the artillery unit there. On this side, we're going to move the light tank there. That infantry there. Yeah, we can move the artillery there. This tank is going to stay in place for now. And we will begin attacking the defenders of that town. Oh, that wasn't a pretty picture. There, that was a better outcome. Now in the north, let's send them there. Yeah, let's just... Oh! No, there are defenders actually. Well, we're going to move that tank back. I doubt that the infantry there will budge. And the north would have been secured against any counterattacks. And with that we end our turn. That hurt us. Bye-bye, fighter. Poor guy. Now that we have the artillery in place there... Ah, didn't do too much damage. Okay, let's use them to attack that unit. We're not going to move them there, since I suspect that our heavy tank can move to that tile at most, so instead we're going to move that infantry there. There we go. As such, we don't have to operate a river crossing here anymore. We can just start sickering into this area with the armor and with some infantry support. While at the same time, these guys on the other hand are still so far removed from that bridge that it makes more sense, if we're going to cover this area, to just let them cross here. Ah, the tank can move there. Wonderful, let's... And we have an enemy there, okay. I'm a bit worried that that unit there will now cut off our front lines here and isolate the light tank unit. But we will see. I don't think there will be enough to destroy that tank unit. We still have enough units that can move up and relieve it. But it would be it would cost us some casualties more than I would have hoped. Now let's keep bombarding that mountainside. Reinforce this unit. And the tank there can continue to attack the infantry here. All quiet there. Well, that ends our turn. I'm the last cosmonaut. See you in the victory round, in the victory recording next time.